God, that sounds about right.
An actor who fled the U.S. after pleading guilty to intercourse with a minor. Alcala was later...
But not after winning an Oscar for it and receiving a standing applause and people lamenting the fact that he couldn't be there because he was on the run for fucking raping a kid. Ooh, is there toss in here? No, okay.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about disturbing live TV moments. Before
I feel like I'll know most of these.
I do want to say we are covering very sensitive and mature topics. I know a lot of my videos, it's mainly most of them, but this one, there is a lot of more mature topics. I don't know how else to say it, but yeah, just wanted to say that as a quick warning before the video starts. And like I said, we're going to be talking about disturbing live TV moments. Pretty self-explanatory. There's nothing really more to say. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the video.
I don't think...
Shabuk.
So I only saw like 2 of them in the thing before with Lee Harvey Oswald. I can't imagine he'd bring up the like live sides one. Right? That'd be crazy. I know, I'm watching the Boomy game up here right now. We'll see though, I guess.
On July 16th, the Herald Tribune reported on what it termed as the quote, first time a has been telecast.
Well, that was quick.
The question was about Christine.
Never mind, immediately into one of them.
American news reporter working for WXLT TV, later known as WWSB, an affiliate of ABC News. She hosted a talk show about community affairs in Sarasota, Florida, titled Suncoast Digest. Her show ran for 30 minutes starting from 9 a.m. On July 15th, 1974, as she came into the studio, the news director, Gordon Galbraith, said she was in a, quote, better mood than any of the other times when she came in. However, contrary to her usual practice, she asked to read a short newscast, and even more strange, she asked her technical director, Linford Rickard, if he can record.
Her story's crazy. I don't know this one, I don't think.
Back in the 1970s, as confirmed by Rolling Stone, local TV programs in Sarasota, Florida would not be recorded for posterity. Rickard said he didn't think too much about the strange request. In her newscast, she read through 3 news items before introducing a clip from a shooting that had taken place at a local restaurant, Beef and Bottle. The clip, however, refused to play as planned, at which point she looked at the camera and said, "In keeping with Channel 40's policy of bringing you the latest in blood and guts, and in living color, bring you another first attempted." She pulled out a .38 caliber Smith & Wesson and shot herself in the head just behind the right ear. Immediately, she slumped forward and struck her head on the news desk and then fell to the floor. The director, Rickard, faded the screen to black and then played a full movie after a short PSA. A bit of mayhem ensued as some viewers tried to call in to check if the shooting was real, while some people called the police. It was estimated that a few hundred people were watching when the incident happened. Chubbuck died a few hours later in the hospital, where she had been rushed after the incident. A natural question following this case is why? Why did she choose to end her life, especially in such a gruesome way? Well, in the words of Simmons, the station's director, quote, "The crux of the situation was that she was a 29-year-old girl who wanted to be married and who wasn't." End quote. It was a known fact that Chubbuck had a problem with maintaining intimate relationships, and this had led her to depression.
Holy shit.
She had a habit of self-deprecation.
That's not even old.
Being, quote, dateless. One incident showcasing this was when she baked a cake for a colleague, George Peter Ryan, for his birthday. She was trying to get his romantic attention, only to find out he was involved with a different colleague, sports reporter Andrea Kirby. Her coworker said Chubbuck was, quote, brusque and defensive whenever anyone tried to be friendly with her. An interesting fact about her death is that among the scripts she was reading as part of the newscast was a note with instructions on how her suicide should be reported. Simmons, the news director, said part of the script read, "TV 40 news personality Christine Chubbuck shot herself in a live broadcast this morning on a Channel 40 talk program. She was rushed to Sarasota Memorial Hospital, where she remains in critical condition." Another fact which explains how she sneaked the gun into the building is that she was a great puppeteer. That morning, she carried a brown bag and 2 puppets and placed them under her desk. They were seen by the technical director, but since they were props, he thought nothing of it. Given that the broadcast
did they have like a little puppet show on this channel often?
Though extremely unlikely, that the could have been captured on video by a home viewer at the time. At the time, a number of rudimentary VCRs were commercially available, including the U-Matic, one of the earliest home recorders. Yet having one in a household in 1974 was extremely unlikely due to its high price. The video is regarded being extremely difficult to obtain unless some other proof comes about, which means someone else recorded it.
I mean, it's not exactly like a collector's item. Like, you're not gonna find that tape like it's something out of, you know, The Ring or something. Like, there's just no way. Especially not for like a fucking Sarasota news channel. There's no way anyone had that device, the Umatic or whatever, and what's up, Io? And was watching at the time. So the only way you'd get that is from like the actual station. Io, what's up? Io, come here. Come here. Io. You can hear her out there. Thanks, Arisa, Big Boy, and Hippo, and Ginger. There's audio of it, like confirmed real audio. Haven't you guys talked about this on the podcast? No. The one we talked about on the podcast was a very different situation. It was a news story where I can't remember if it was the host or the person they were interviewing pulled out a shotgun and blew their fucking brains out. It was terrible. It was a politician with a handgun. Nope. That's a different one. Another one that was also broadcast is there was a pedophile who had molested some guy's child. He was like a karate instructor. He kidnapped the kid, molested the kid. He finally got caught. He was standing trial. And as he was walking back, the dad pretended to be on a payphone, turned around with a revolver, shot him. Blasted him. And then the dad got off with no charges. Beautiful. That was an absolutely fucking wild video with a happy ending. That one's still iconic. Yep, why, Gary, why? Everyone was so calm about it too. Like after he shot, the guy like that went up to him. He's like, "Why, Gary? Why?" Thanks for some nodes.
Many people claim to have seen the video from places other than the initial live broadcast, such as early websites, FBI training DVDs, and Mondo movies like Faces of Death.
She did want to come
Although
up.
given
Hello,
the circumstances, this seems implausible. The tape is still in Molly Nelson's possession, the widow of the former WXLT-TV owner, according to a June 8, 2016 report by Vulture. For reasons he never revealed, her husband maintained a copy of the tape, which was given to her upon his passing. She felt uneasy when she started receiving demands to see it after this was made public. She claims that she gave the tape to a sizable law firm for safekeeping and that she has no plans to ever let anyone view it. She also claims that she only kept the tape because she wanted to commemorate her late husband. Lee Harvey Oswald. Lee Harvey Oswald is a name known by many because it's associated with the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Oswald is alleged to have made the deadly shot on November 22nd, 1963 in Dallas, Texas, as President Kennedy rode in his open car motorcade.
Whoa,
the 24-year-old was...
Hold on. No, you can't go eat those wires. Just hang out in the cat tree. Oh, it's made for cats. Oh, Jesus, what? Oh, Jesus Christ. I know, Io's great. No. Okay. Sometimes she just gets in a wire chewing mood though, which is a little rough. Thanks the Bits Thunder. You ever hear of Kin McElroy? No, I've never heard that story at all. Yep, I did watch the Boomy set. Was that the last one of the night?
Set for trial on November 24th, 1963, but was shot.
Because the stream's down now.
His case then became full of speculation, with some believing that he indeed shot the president, while others argued otherwise.
Yeah, I got to watch it then.
Evidence in support of his conviction.
I thought there was
that
still
on
one
the
more.
day of the assassination, he had been seen on the 6th floor of the work building with an assault rifle. He was seen.
Boomy wasn't trolling; he was just having
police
fun.
Officer J.D. Tippett confronted him some distance away from the shooting. This was still less than an hour after the shooting. He's alleged to have shot the police officer and fled. On the other hand, evidence against his conviction is, for example, the conclusion by the House of Representatives Assassination Committee in 1979 that another shooter might have been involved in the assassination.
What's up? No, Jesus. What are you doing? Yeah, he was laughing mid-set because he's having fun. That's what gaming is all about. Though he absolutely cracked the fuck up on, like, I think it was game 4 after it ended. I don't know why, but something in game 4 about the way he lost his last stock really had him cackling. Have you seen the video of the veteran who shotgun blasted himself on live stream? That's exactly what I was mentioning, right? That's the guy who brought out the shotgun while they were interviewing him and blew his brains out. There's a resub HXS, Nameless, Demon, Creepy, Nibits, Kappa.
30 minutes after the officer was shot, Oswald was arrested at the Texas Theater in the Dallas suburb of Oak Cliff. He was formally arrested the next day, November 23rd, for the numbers of President Kennedy.
He's talking about Ronnie McNutt.
A day later, on November 24th, Oswald was taken to the Dallas police headquarters,
another fucking awful one,
in the basement, while in transit to the more secure county jail. During his departure from the police headquarters, given his case had the attention of the whole nation, there was a crowd with live TV cameras and a lot of people recording. Suddenly, a man, Jack Ruby, emerged from the crowd and shot him. Ruby, originally named Jacob Rubenstein, fired from a 38 Colt Cobra revolver at a close range, and thus Oswald was fatally wounded. In the clip from the incident, Oswald is seen being escorted out of the police station while guarded by 2 individuals.
Does he? He doesn't show the whole thing, does he? I hope not. Hold on.
And in a split second, Ruby jumps in front of them from the crowd and immediately fires the gun. A reporter, Tom Pettit from NBC, is heard saying, "He's been shot. He's been shot. Lee Oswald has been shot." The entire scene is disturbing to watch, and thus it's unimaginable that it actually aired on live TV. Notably, Ruby's actions led to more conspiracies regarding the assassination. For example, he's said to have a relationship with several Dallas police and often did favors for them in exchange for leniency in the way they scrutinized his strip joints and dance halls, so there was speculation that he might have killed Oswald to prevent him from revealing a larger conspiracy. None of these claims were verified, and the official report from the Warren Commission in 1964 concluded that neither Oswald nor Ruby were part of any larger conspiracy. Initially, Ruby was charged with malice of murder and sentenced to death.
It has been confirmed to be the CIA, though, right?
Murder had brought him grief to the point of insanity.
They just released all those documents like last year.
However, in 1966,
not even a year ago,
his conviction was reversed by the Texas Court of Appeals on grounds that he could not have been tried fairly, and also cited wrongful admission of testimony. As he waited his new trial, he passed away due to lung cancer in January 1967 in a local Dallas hospital. Rodney Alcala. The story of Rodney Alcala is pretty wild because
we talked about that on stream. That's what I said. So the documents came out. It all but confirmed the CIA was behind the assassination of Kennedy, and nobody said a word. That shit was crazy. I mean, yeah, I guess it's not fair to say they were behind it. More so, we'll tiptoe around it a bit. More so, allowed, and maybe even, gave a little nod. People had wanted those documents to release for a long time. They finally did it, confirmed what everyone had suspected for a long time, and nobody said shit. I did not know this. Do I believe you? You can look it up. I pulled them up on stream. The documents went public. That's why I'm talking about it. Here, let me... Where do you find them again? Here, the 2022 JFK assassination records from the archives.gov, I believe, has all of them available to download now. Yep. The 2022, December 15th, 2022, they all went public. You're joking, right? It has to be fake. Why would the CIA want to do that? Zero logic there. I can't remember all of it now, but I think it was something to do with JFK at the time launched an investigation into the CIA itself, right? Something like that. I can't remember now. The fuck was it? Was it? I think it was something that he launched an investigation into the CIA.
The question, how did a serial killer end up on a live TV dating game? To better
This one's
understand
also
why
very
his
well
TV
known.
appearance was disturbing, we first have to go through his background. Before his TV appearance, Alcala was suspected to have murdered at least 4 people. This is considered a conservative number by some because other accounts place his total murders at about 130, a combined number for before and after the live TV appearance. His childhood background is a little hidden, but
He
it's
wanted to
known
cut
that
the
he was
CIA
born in
budget
San
by
Antonio,
20%,
Texas
not
in
dissolve it.
1943.
Like I said, I'm
He moved with his
foggy on
family
the
to
details. I
Mexico
just
when
know
he
it was
was
something
8
with the
years
CIA
old,
he
and then
wanted
3
to
years later,
investigate
he
and
moved with his
change.
mother back to suburban Los Angeles. His father had abandoned them after just 3 years in Mexico. He then joined the army as a clerk at age 17 but was medically discharged. He had a nervous breakdown and was dismissed on mental health grounds. Also, he was brilliant with an IQ of 135 and even managed to attend UCLA and later New York University studying film. In 1969, age 25, Alcala attempted his first kill. The victim was Tali Shapiro, an 8-year-old girl he lured into his apartment in Hollywood. The incident happened on September 25th in 1969 when Shapiro, then a second grader, was walking along Hollywood Sunset Boulevard and accepted a ride from Alcala, who lied about knowing her parents. A good Samaritan who saw the abduction followed Alcala to his apartment and then called the police. Officers came and tried to get Alcala to open up unsuccessfully, so they busted down the door and found Shapiro on the floor with severe injuries. Alcala had escaped via the back door. This was the first time Alcala showcased his killing signature: beating, biting, and strangling. His escape led him to New York, where he picked an alias, John Berger, and joined film school. Surprisingly, he studied under Roman Polanski, a renowned film producer, director,
God, that sounds about right.
and actor who fled the US after pleading guilty to intercourse with a minor. Alcala was later
But not after winning an Oscar for it and receiving a standing applause and people lamenting the fact that he couldn't be there because he was on the run for fucking raping a kid. Hollywood is sick, man. Hollywood's fucking sick. And, yeah, and he is still praised to this day. That Polanski shit, man.
later convicted of the in 1970, but only served 34 months in jail for defiling a minor, as Shapiro's parents didn't want her testifying at the trial for rape. In 2012, he confessed to the murders of Cornelia Crilly, flight attendant, and Ellen Hover, an heiress, and in 2016 got charged with murdering 28-year-old Christine Ruth Thornton. Now, knowing his story, it's disturbing that on Wednesday, September 13th,
the dating
1978, Alcala made an appearance on the TV matchmaking show, The Dating Game. Even more disturbing is that the day's bachelorette, Cheryl Bradshaw, facing the lineup of 4 eligible bachelors, chose Alcala, going by bachelor number 1. He was introduced as a, quote, successful photographer and a fan of skydiving and motorcycling. During his appearance at the show, it was however confirmed that his career was typesetting at Los Angeles Times. The mention of photography was thus a curious bit because it seemed that he only used it to lure his female victims. He would then kill them and have their bodies in grotesque poses before taking pictures. An interesting bit of his appearance on the show was also the kind of answers he gave to the Bachelorette. For example, he said his best time is at night because, quote, nighttime is when it really gets good, end quote. He also did an impression of a dirty old man while at it. He won the game, and with Cheryl Bradshaw, they were supposed to go on and get tennis lessons and a trip to Magic Mountain. However, Bradshaw said her intuition didn't let her. She said that while they were backstage conversing, she got extremely creepy vibes from him, and she just decided to not go with him. And she never saw him again. But those
vibes saved her life.
Saved her life. WDBJ.
She's got a great vibe radar.
On a regular morning of August 26, 2015,
Thanks,
24-year-old Allison Parker, a
Davis and
news
Stinky.
reporter, and 27-year-old Adam Ward, a photojournalist, both working for CBS Roanoke affiliate WDBJ TV, were fatally shot while in the middle of a live television interview. Parker was interviewing Vicki Gardner, a director for a local chamber of commerce, at Smith Mountain Lake in Monetta. At around 6:46 a.m., the gunman, Vester Lee Flanagan II, approached the trio and shot about 15 times from a Glock 19, killing Parker and Ward instantly. Gardner was hospitalized, received surgery for her wounds, and as of 2020, she said she had to come a long way in both physical and mental recovery. Flanagan II was a former journalist at WDBJ and had been fired on February 1st, 2013. He had appeared on air at the station as Bruce Williams. In the incident video, he is shown with an outstretched arm holding the gun and firing repeatedly at Parker. Apparently, he had first hit Ward and Parker tried to run away. She was heard screaming and saying, "Oh my god," as she got shot and fell. As Ward fell, the camera momentarily captured the image of the gunman. The feed was switched quickly to the anchor at the station, who was bewildered and just said, "Okay, not sure what happened there." It was also bizarre that Flanagan had walked up to them and just stopped a few feet away, but didn't start shooting until Ward pointed the camera at Parker and Gardner. It was as if he wanted the interview to go live first. Even weirder is that he posted the whole ordeal on his social media. So, why did Flanagan do this? Well, it's evident that even WDBJ's president and general manager, Jeffrey Marks, knew Flanagan had the potential to do so because in an interview, Marks said Flanagan's name instantly came to mind when he heard about the shooting. Flanagan had left the station, quote, in a cloud, and it was because he was asked to leave and actually escorted by the police out of the station after being fired. Marks
I never heard about this one.
Was an unhappy man and was extremely difficult to work with. He'd been dismissed due to many incidents of anger, and he didn't take that well. On the alleged Flanagan Twitter account, the graphic video of the shooting was posted along with a series of tweets referencing Park and Ward. One tweet said, "Allison made racist comments," and another, "Adam went to HR on me after working with me one time." So it seemed there was a personal vendetta. The video posted on his social media has him uttering the word bitch before firing at Parker. Later on, at 8:23 in the morning, Flanagan II faxed ABC News a, quote, note for friends and family, and then called them at 10 a.m. to confess. The authorities managed to track him down using his phone as he tried fleeing using a rented Chevrolet Sonic on the I-81 and then I-86. A trooper tried to stop him after an automatic license plate reader identified the car, but Flanagan sped off. He ran off the side of the road and struck an embankment near Markham, Virginia. He was found in the car with gunshot wounds. They airlifted him to a hospital in Falls Church, but he succumbed to the injuries and was declared dead at 1:26 p.m. Carl Wallenda.
That one wasn't even long ago. I never heard of that one. Oh my god. What the fuck? So many places to stop this? Not really, man. Like, you can't just, like, arrest a guy because he's a weirdo. Like, that's a hard line to walk. But I will say, sometimes people actually just look like serial killers. Like, actually. Like, they were literally born to just be a killer. Sometimes people just have that fucking look. Sometimes you can absolutely fucking judge a book by its cover. And it's especially true for fucking pedophiles too, man. Sometimes you can just immediately look at someone and be like, that guy, he is probably a pedophile. And sure enough, sometimes right on the money. There's the Prime Boston and the Bits Davis and the Resub Azure. You guys remember, I think it was 2 years ago, there was I think it was a Facebook streamer, I can't remember. There was a Fortnite streamer, and it turns out he had been very inappropriate with minors. And they released his mugshot. And it was like the most stereotypical, quintessential pedophile shit ever. The guy was, I think he was, what was it, balding, purple, no, green left beard, red right beard. Fuck, I can't remember. He looked like an actual goddamn fucking clown. And the big meme at the time was, it's always the person you least expect. Obviously toying around with, like, this guy actually looks like a pedophile. Show a picture. Here, I'll pull him up real quick. I think it was Facebook. Yeah, I was off. It was just different color hair, different color beard. But here, this guy. He's a tier 1 Uzora and the Resub Saint. I don't know actually what happened to this story. I don't remember if he went to jail or not. Let's see. What was his... Oh, it was child rape charges too. God damn. Thanks to resub MCR and Weedle. Thanks to Tier 1 Bup.
Performing death-defying acts is nothing new to TV, but there's always a chance that something could go wrong.
Izzy won?
This is exactly
Good.
what happened to 73-year-old Carl Wallenda on March 22nd, 1978. While walking a wire and with live television broadcast covering the act, the world watched in horror as he fell 100 feet to his death. He landed on a taxi and bounced onto the pavement. Wallenda wasn't new to walking on a tightrope and already had built a great reputation as a daredevil in doing similar stunts. The German-born performer was raised in a circus family and started learning stunts as a young child. By the time he was in his teens, in 1922, he started the Flying Wallendas, a group that did the traveling balancing act. The group consisted of Herman, his brother, Helen Kreis, his girlfriend, later his wife, and Joseph Geiger, a friend from school. All these individuals had circus training. They toured Europe a lot in their earlier years, garnering a reputation that had them even referred to as the Great Wallendas. They specialized in walking tightropes, high-wire bicycling, and the four-man pyramid act. They eventually moved to America under the wing of John Ringling, an American circus entrepreneur. Their debut in the US was at Madison Square Garden in New York City, where they got a standing ovation. They got so famous so quickly that Wallenda's reputation preceded him. One of their most memorable acts was a death-defying 7-person, 3-tier pyramid tightrope walk, with the highest person balancing on a chair. Their success was, however, not riddled with danger. Before Carl Wallenda's deadly fall, the crew had witnessed a...
Ringling was well known for all of the animals they used. They'd abuse the fuck out of them. They'd beat the shit out of all their animals. You guys don't remember that? They were the circus that made the animal acts, like, famous. They're shut down now, though. They shut them down, like, 3 or 4 years ago, I think. Somewhere in that ballpark. They've been shut down for a little bit now. Well, even before they were shut down, they had fallen into so much controversy over beating their animals, but they eventually phased out the animals in order to comply with the abuse complaints, but then they couldn't maintain any kind of profitability, so they kind of fizzled out. Here, let me see, when was it? Oh my god, they relaunched last year? What? Wait, no way. And also, I was wrong. It was only 2 years ago. October 21st of 2021. I forgot the date there, the most important part. It was 2021. Oh, wait, nope. That's when they made a statement. They were on May 7th, 2017. They gave their last performance before shutting down. But then in 2021, they announced that they're going to be relaunching in 2023 without animal performances. Circuses don't need animals. What the fuck are you talking about, man? Cirque du Soleil is an incredible group, and all of theirs is human performers doing crazy stunts and shit. They even mix in, like, stories.
Other deaths. For example, in 1962, at the Shrine Circus in Detroit, the 7-person pyramid collapsed after the frontman
just not a traditional circus.
Died. Wallenda's son-in-law, tightrope partner, and nephew. Wallenda's son got paralyzed from the waist down, while the niece had a serious head injury. Just a year later, Wallenda's sister-in-law fell to her death from a tightrope. Also, just a few years later, another son-in-law died from electrocution after grabbing a live wire while doing a stunt. It seems all these deaths were seen as less compared to the success he got. For example, setting the world high wire record by walking 1,800 feet across Kings Island. He also did a high wire walk across the Tallulah Gorge. On the day he fell to his death, he was in San Juan, Puerto Rico, for a performance to attract his audience to the Pan American Circus performance that he was to do with his 17-year-old granddaughter, Rita. The stunt was held at beachfront hotels, where a 750-foot long cable was strung between Flamboyant Hotel and Condado Plaza Hotel. About halfway through the wire, he struggled against high winds and started teetering. This lasted for about 30 seconds before he fell. A local news crew, San Juan Star, was recording the performance for broadcast. Jane Baird, the reporter, said that around the midpoint, the wire was, quote, dancing underneath him. Members of his crew who were holding the guide wires yelled at him to sit, Poppy, sit, but as he tried to squat, he was blown off the wire. His death was attributed to multiple fractures and traumas. This, however, wasn't the end of his legacy, since his great-grandson, Nick Wallenda, kept performing insane stunts and even went back to the same location where Wallenda died just to do the same act and successfully complete it.
And smarter. Nick Wallenda's the guy who did the, was it the Grand Canyon? I think so. The Grand Canyon wire walk. He has safety equipment. Back in those days, they'd do it all natural. So, dude actually just went up there, no safety equipment, and fucking let it ride. Thanks the bits teach on. Wasn't there a movie about this? I don't know if there was a movie about it or not. Thanks the resub huge. This is something I've said before, and it's super true. People 80, 90 years ago were literally just more talented at some of the shit we